Hello, everybody. We're live again with Finding Purpose with Seyi. Thank you, as usual, for joining us today. Today is going to be special. Today we'll be having a lot of discussion, and as we normally do it, we're bringing people that have found purpose with their pain. My name is Seyi-Oyedeji. If you're just joining me for the first time, Finding Purpose is a show where we bring in people to talk about their story, their journey, how they've turned their pain into purpose, and we talk real issue. We don't fluff around. We talk real issues, life changing circumstances that people have gone through. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I've got a special guest with me today, and I'm so excited. So if you're joining us today for the first time, you need to give access to StreamYard so that then we can see your name, because we are streaming through StreamYard. So just accept it so that then your comments, your questions can be seen as you're sending them to us. So today with me, I've got Bisi Badebo, she's a survivor of systemic lupus, and she's just going to be introducing herself to us today. So Bisi, welcome to Finding Purpose in Pain with Seyi. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Good,
you.
good to have you here today. Good to have you here today. So tell us a bit about yourselves. Who are you? Who is BC? And just tell us a bit before we go into your main story and all that.
Okay, yeah. My name is Visi Gbadebo, and I'm a mother of four and a grandmother as well. And I'm also a nurse by profession. I also I'm an advocate of people that survivors of domestic violence. I support and you know, um, also create awareness of domestic violence.
Go. Thank you so much, BC. I'm sure a lot of people then, when they heard I'm a grandmother, they were like, okay, she doesn't look like one. She looks really, really young and beautiful. I'm I'm sure they will be wondering, So thank you, and thank you, for coming on our show. And I'm sure that a lot of our viewers today, as they will be watching our show, they will really, really be blessed by your story. But I'm sure somebody over there is asking,
Mm.
what is systemic lupus? Um, what are the symptoms? What's all that? A lot of people do not know. Could you give us what's the meaning of all of that term for a lot of people? Because I don't think a lot of people have heard it, and if they have, maybe they don't know what the symptoms. So tell us about it. What is that? How can you explain that? What are the symptoms, and how does it affect daily living of an individual?
Okay, yeah. I've come across so many people that don't know what systemic lupus is all about. When I say systemic lupus, I say, what is that? What is that? What does that mean? So, so this is part of what I want to do as well, to create awareness, because the symptom is symptoms of systemic lupus. Sometimes you have it, you wouldn't know that you've got something going on underneath. So
Mhm.
systemic lupus is an autoimmune disease that your body system now produces more of antibodies, and these antibodies now fight your good your cells, to fight your body. Instead of, antibodies is supposed to um, fight infection or any foreign thing, but when there is nothing to fight, it starts to attack your body, your organs. And yeah, so that's what systemic lupus is. And it affects organs, and it's a very silent disease that you wouldn't know that something is going on. So it affects the heart, it affects your joints, it affects organs, your kidneys, it affects a lot of things in the body. Yeah.
So what are the symptoms, typical symptoms, that you
So
have,
symptoms would
somebody,
be,
yeah.
yeah. So symptoms would be feeling extremely tired, really tired that you won't be able to, you won't be able to do anything. That's extreme tiredness, joint pains, stiffness. If you have stiffness in your joints and swellings, fingers can swell twice their size, and dry eyes, could have dry eyes, and chest pain. Some people have their fingers is the fingers that becomes whitish blue, as if there is no blood flow through there. So some people have rashes. Some are sensitive to the light of sun. So there are different
Symptoms.
symptoms, which also mimics other diseases. So it's very difficult sometimes to you have to go through a lot of tests before they can determine this is systemic lupus.
Okay. Because I'm sure a lot of people will want to, like you've said, okay, what symptoms do I need to watch out for? If I'm having, this. And thank you for sharing that with us. So thank you if you're just watching us and joining us. I'm with Bisi Gbadebo, and we're going to be talking about a story about systemic lupus and also a domestic violence journey. And thank you for watching us. So going forward and moving on, Bisi, I know you've gone through, quite a lot, and eventually with the systemic lupus. And I just wanted to start with your journey, about domestic violence. What was your experience with that? How did that come to play? What's your story about domestic violence? What's that story that you have to say about domestic violence?
Okay. So the journey of domestic violence started probably after the first year of my marriage. That's when it started very early, and yeah, so that's the journey of that's what started. It started very early in my first set. Yeah, after the first year.
I don't know whether I think is the.
I
Can you hear
can't hear
me?
you.
Yeah, can you hear me? We can't hear you.
Yes,
Yeah,
I can
can you?
now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it seems as if it paused. Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah.
was frozen. Yeah, yeah. Could you repeat your last because we didn't hear that.
Okay, I said that it started after the first year. So after my first year of marriage, yeah, that was when it started.
That's it. Okay. Did you get any support for that, or what support did you have with
No, not at
being
all.
domestic?
Not at all. Because then, pardon,
What support did you
I didn't hear
have?
that. What did you say?
I said, what support did you have with domestic abuse? Because according to what you said it started in the first year of your marriage. So, what support did you have, and what kind of abuse did you experience?
Okay, with the support, there was I won't support at all. No support because um, I didn't make it known to people that this is what I was going through. I kept it quiet because I was kind of thinking, who do I wasn't even thinking of telling anybody then because I was just trying to make my marriage work, and I I wasn't thinking of saying anything to anyone. But after 6 years, yeah, some of my family knew, and I became more aware that okay, you can actually call the police if you don't know what to do, because there was no one that I can speak to about it. There was no one to call. I can't call my parents up to have said this. I just want to keep their mind at rest. So I actually did not say anything, nothing. So after a while, I had to, there was a time I had to call the police, actually more than once, but they also were not helpful. They were not helpful because it's not like the it's not like this modern day now that you can call the police and something would be done. They will actually charge the person. Then they will say to you, "Oh, it's just domestic stuff that you can. It's either the police have to expense place for a few hours and come back home, or just sleep there for the night. So they'll say you can sort it out amongst yourself. So there was no support from the system as well as in there was no support. And again, there was no one to tell that to. There was none at all. It's after years, so many years, that I was able to open up to two of my friends, and they were like a support, but there was nothing they could do as well because it's not something they've experienced before. And what's it called? So there was a year that a police lady now gave me a leaflet. She gave me this leaflet and said, if you need to call someone, that was the first time, and this was years later. I can't remember. So she gave me that leaflet, and I was able to use it when it was needed. There was a telephone number to a solicitor there, which I was able to call her when I experienced something very terrible night before. And so I called that lady, so she was able to write like a warning letter. Right. She did write a warning letter that, if this did da 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 da, these are the things that could happen, but that wasn't helpful as well. It wasn't helpful. So yeah. So later, I think later I did get help when I moved away from that area. So the area that I moved to, there was support there. They had all these support. They had support there anyway. So I was able to get some support from those ones. Awareness, more awareness of different services out there. So they were able to give me all those information about, okay, you can do this, you can do that. And yeah. So but that took a while.
Okay. How long did you have to go through the domestic violence before you said to yourself, I've got enough, I need to do something about this? And you actually did something.
Yeah, over the years, I knew I had to do. There was a time I tried to do something about it, but when you don't know sometimes what to do or where to go, I don't I don't really a lot of friends then, because most of my friends were back at home. So here I'm just trying to make friends, and because going through that, you won't even be thinking about making friends. There's no time for making friends. So I don't know who to reach out to then. But yeah, I would say it took years. It took years, yeah, to get that support. Yeah, it took
Cool.
years, and I would say probably mm, well, what I would over the whole from beginning to the end was 16 years. But when I decide, what, all this has to stop, was before that. I know you have to get a job, and you'll be making. I won't. You try to do this, then things will go back. Try to do this again, and after a while, it got to a stage and said, okay, this is it. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. That I couldn't, because I just couldn't do it anymore. It's like every part of me was has been drained out. So that was when I kept saying, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. Yeah. Along this journey of your domestic violence, also, you discovered you were experiencing some symptoms. So tell us how you discovered that you had how you started noticing something was wrong with you, and eventually you started the work of the systemic lupus. So tell us about your personal story about systemic lupus, and how did that go through, and what support did you have, and everything within that journey of systemic lupus?
Okay. Yeah. So I would say that actually it's because of all the emotional stuff that I went through in my marriage that was what triggered the lupus, because lupus can be triggered when you've experienced a traumatic, event, or it can be triggered. So this day I was just sitting down, and I don't know what was I sat down, maybe probably just resting, and I wanted to get up and I couldn't. I just couldn't get up. Although before then I've been feeling very tired. I was thinking, that okay, probably it's because of my job, because then I do nights, and coming back home, my youngest then was a baby, so I thought, okay, probably I need to change this job because I have to travel and to take me over an hour to get back home. So I took time off work, and instead of me to be feeling better, I was actually getting worse. As in this, I didn't know what was going. I just thought, okay, I'm just tired. That day, I couldn't lift up. I tried to lift up my hand. I couldn't. I tried to stand up. I couldn't. I was thinking, what was going on? Then gradually, I started having joint pains. My knees. Um, I all my joints, like my fingers. Oh, I wake up in the morning and my fingers, I won't be able to open my hand. So I have to one at a time be lifting up my finger one at a time for it to open. So I will keep rubbing on it so that it will open up. So every morning, that's how stiff my fingers would be then. And so the joint pain was, too much that um, there was a Christmas, I think that was 2003. This started 2003. And they use all the balm, different balm from Africa, all those strong ones on me, and nothing was, I went to my GP. GP gave me painkillers and said, oh, what did she say? She said it was um, uh, uh, forgotten the name now, I'm trying to remember. Anyway, she gave me painkillers to help, which did help. I was able to start another job close home. I only went for 3 days and I couldn't anymore because I couldn't work. And I had to stay in bed after a while. No, that Christmas, I stayed at home. I said I didn't want to go to hospital, So they had to take me to hospital after New Year, which now was 2004. So 3 weeks later, I was diagnosed with systemic lupus. They did lots of different tests before they could say, okay, this is it. By then, it has started. It has started affecting my organs. It affected my kidneys, affected my eyes, my head went with it. Um, I, I, I was like a skeleton. That was how, because when I saw myself as well in the mirror, I screamed. I thought, who is this? My friends would come and visit, and I'll see them crying. I'm wondering, why are they crying? I had sores. That's another symptom over my tongue. Sores. I couldn't eat. they almost passed tube through my nose so that I can, and affected my memory as well. That I lost my short-term memory. If someone says something to me now, I wouldn't remember the next few seconds. And so sometimes for me to be able to communicate, when I remember something, I quickly kind of scribble it down. I couldn't even hold the pen then, I couldn't. I had to hold it somehow just to scribble something. My so swollen. Anyway, after a while, I was able to start having something, but that took a lot of encouragement because there were sores all over my mouth. I couldn't eat anything. They had to feed me with a teaspoon then. I couldn't walk. I had to be carried, so all all that. And I had support people that I people that just heard about it and just decided to help. Apart from family and friends, some people from church that just heard about it and just decide to help. Some stayed at home with my children, um, brought food, to the hospital as well. I had that support from God. Just raised up people at that time. Yeah, both family and friends, and those that some people came into my life at that time. And after all that happened, they left. It's as if that was what God brought them to do then. I can remember a lady today, I didn't see, and she really helped me. And yeah, so I did get a lot of support from
No. No.
friends and
And
family.
all that was based on the stress you had, from having a very, very turbulent marriage, and the stress it had on you. We'll still go into that. We've got a question here, and somebody's asking what is the impact of the domestic violence on the children. We still get to that. Because sometimes, and I want you to speak a bit about the stress that transformed into this, because a lot of people go through things, but they don't know that the stress that they are going through can lead to so many other things. Can you just say a bit about some of those stress that you were going through
Yeah.
emotionally, physically, to that point before we go into the next question?
Okay. Um,
Yeah, I think she's
Especially the emotional
frozen a
part
bit.
of it,
Okay.
the ones that people cannot put a figure to. You know, can you still hear me? Because
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
my camera is not
Yeah,
showing.
we
Can
can
you
hear you.
still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Can you hear me
I can,
now?
yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So, what was I saying? A very
We're talking about the
difficult
emotional bit that people don't
time.
say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the emotional part. So, I think it's very important about it. I think part that it's quiet. I probably because I'm an introvert as well. I took a lot in. I just kept quiet and didn't say anything. And what I would say to people is that not to keep things, especially when it's things that troubles your mind, not to keep it there and to get help, to get help. That's why I'm so passionate to help people that are going through such, so that they don't kind of keep to themselves, and to get help, to to speak out, not to be silent about it. And because it can lead to a lot of some people, there are so many diseases out there that someone can get because of, some people develop fibromyalgia, some people develop arthritis, some people develop probably heart problems, high blood pressure. So there's so many things out there that and some people, they say it will affect their mental health. You know, it affects the mental health as well. That they are not the same anymore. So yeah.
Thank you. A lot of people are sending their loves. I don't know whether you can see them. Big, massive org. Big org to you. So they're
Thank
sending all
you.
their love to you, because it's always important to know how strong people are when they're going through and they're sharing their story. Because yeah, it's just a strong thing that you're doing, especially because you just said that you're an introvert. You don't really want people to know what's going on with you. But it's so important that we dwell on that fact that a lot of people go through a lot of things, they don't share it, and in effect, because they don't share it, they now begin to experience some things in them, within them, that they cannot explain, and they're wondering, oh, why am
I
I having
can
this?
say
Why am I?
you.
Can you hear me? And why they are going through
I can
one
hear you
pain.
now.
Okay, and why they are going through one pain, just because they are keeping too much to themselves or within themselves. So it's so important, if you are watching us today and you're going through one thing or the other, it's so important that you let out. You let whatever you're going through, you tell somebody, you have a support system that can help you, within this. And my next question to you is, how did your family and friends react to everything that you were going through? The domestic violence, the systemic lupus, you said a bit about it. But how did they react to all these things that you're going through as friends and family?
Okay, like I said earlier, one about the domestic violence for a while, so there was nothing anyone could do to help me then. And when um, my friends later knew, yeah, they could they could just do what they can, but yeah, two of my friends were there for me. They were there for me, praying for me. When I called, they're there. When I called, they're there. So yeah. Oh,
Okay. Thank you. Um, it's okay. It's okay. That's okay. I've got but take your time. I've got a question for you. It's okay. We'll wait for you if you can. I know it's a lot. It takes someone that is strong to say this, and why we're doing this is so that people are aware, so that people know that whatever they are going through, they shouldn't suffer alone with it. Some people have gone through what they have going through what they are currently going through, and they can be helped, in whatever they are going. So take your time. It could be. We know you're strong. So take your time. And I'm sure, like everybody that is sending their love and their org, they know what it takes to be here. So someone is asking a question. Please, can you really share with us what your ex-husband did to you? Can you be more practical? So that's the question for you.
can you give me a minute, please? I just want to.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you, everybody, for watching us. I've got with me today a very strong lady. She looks really young and sweet, but she's a grandmother, a mother of four. She's telling us about a story about her journey with systemic lupus, a domestic violence journey, how far she's been, and that's what we are talking about today, and the importance of people not keeping a lot of things within themselves. Because in doing that, you are hurting yourself. In keeping that, you might feel that you're strong, but nobody is strong. We need each other to be able to help
Yeah.
each other and hold each other up. So it's so important if you are watching us today and you are going through. I know a lot of people wondered, I don't want everybody to know my story. I don't want people have tried it. People have stabbed me at the back, but pray for the right people. And you'll be surprised who you have within your space when you're going through your issues so that you don't have to do this all by yourself. So that's what we are talking about. And she's such a blessing, to us today. Yeah. If you're ready, we're ready. Sis.
Okay, well, what was your question again? What was the question?
So the question Adiola has is, please, can you really share with us what your ex-husband did to you? Can you be more practical?
Oh, wow. Um, um, so there is a lot. I don't even know where to start. It's a lot. It's a lot. Well, it started with a slap. It started with a slap. I was so shocked, and I was so shocked and shaken and thinking, really, did that really happen? Did you really slap me? I was just crying out that, did you really slap me? And yeah, that was how it started, and gradually it's a lot. It's a lot that I if I start, we'll be here all day. So I can just pick situations. It could be wanting to go out and stopping me from going out, saying, no, where are you going? You can't go to this place, or create create a scene so that that outing, I'll just say, I'm not going. Yeah, I'm not going anymore. So I'll just stay at home, or it could be trying to get my attention, and I am trying to just be safe. So it's either making different noises in the house, and okay, if I'm sleeping, I'll come to the room and banging on different things so that just to disturb my sleep, or it could be, oh no, it is a lot. Is a lot of things that I can't I can't even say everything. So sometimes it could be things that I I I don't even think could cause any problems. And you just start, why this, why that? I'm thinking, but it shouldn't be like this, but it just escalates into it's not only physical, it could be the emotional is can't even, was a
Yeah,
lot.
it's
The emotional
yeah,
one was yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, thank you. Somebody, and I quite agree with Kemi here. She says,
It's a
even
lot.
though it's a long time,
So
we can see
they
that the hurt
said,
and the pain you went through is still feeling raw. Can you read that?
not really, not, it's just that there is no way someone that experienced what I experienced would talk about it and won't tell. I, even if I'm hearing somebody else's, I will still cry if it's so I'm that kind of person that I easily tear. So yeah, I wouldn't say that it's still raw because I've gone past that stage. It's just when I talk about something painful like that, if I remember something, especially this story of mine, there are times that I still, what doesn't mean it's still, no.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. The next question I want to ask you, and this is quite, because a lot of people argue this, and you've experienced domestic violence according to you in the first year of your marriage, you know, a year into your marriage. Would you say that you saw it coming? Would you say that there were things that there were pointers that you think you could have avoided before getting in? Do you think that there were triggers, because for the younger ones also, do you think there were things that there were signs that you could see that were coming, or that you ignored, or that you said it doesn't matter? Did you see those, during your own journey?
Not at all. Not at
Okay.
all. At all. That was why I was so kind of surprised. Not at all. Not at all.
Okay. But after 16 years, you eventually made a decision, and decided to take steps, you know, in and like you said, I've had enough. So what were those things that you did, when you eventually said, I've had enough, I need to do something about it? So what were those steps that you took, after 16 years, which was a very long time, so what were those steps that you took? What were
Mm.
those actions that you took, when you've had enough and you were strong enough to at least do something?
Okay, for me, I did go for counseling. I also I think I also started because now I was more stronger, and I one of them was to pray, and also started being more assertive. So I now started standing up for myself and saying, you know what, I'm not taking this. Especially after going through the systemic flu first, um, I wasn't very strong then to say stuff, to say this. So that made uh, that made it very easy for all the emotional part of it to for it to continue, because I wasn't saying anything. Just got to a stage one day I said, you know what, I can't, I can't do this anymore. It's like I was singing it like all the time. I can't do this. I cannot do this. And for what really made it easy for me, then I started praying. I said, God to give me the strength, to give me the strength. And I prayed that, I prayed that this person at would should if that the prayer, sometimes people might think, really, that's what happened to me, because I prayed that the person should leave, that he will be the one that will say if that's what God wants. Because there was a day that I went through. There was a day that I think I was sleeping then, and I think I was sleeping then, and he came into the room and just pulled the covers in. I didn't want me to sleep on that day. So I went to my children's room, sat down there, and I was like, oh, I couldn't sleep. And it's like, like someone saying, you know what, like, that was the day it's like something that is like my eyes opened. That's the way I put it. My eyes opened that, you've the word was like, you've had enough. You like, this is, you need to do something about it. So that was when I gained that strength, the strength to start standing up for myself. So if he says this, I would say, I'm not, that's not going to happen. So when I started standing up for myself and saying no to things, then I could see that he couldn't do anything. So now that I'm being more, and he kind of drew back, and I just started praying that, what, Father, if this is your will, that I shouldn't be going through this anymore. And again, the person, he also was saying, I'm leaving. Oh, you're leaving. Okay, fine. If you're leaving, I started praying, Lord, I just want to be saved. I don't want to be walking on eggshells anymore. I just want to be safe with my children. So if you're leaving, God, if he wants to leave, let him be the one leaving. And one day he said, you know what? I packed my stuff and left. So I didn't I did not do the packing or getting out or this. So that's where my story is different. So he was the one that left the house.
Okay. Um, um, so to your younger self, if you want to say something to your younger self and to every other person that is still young, and they're looking at marriage and they're even in it, what would you tell your younger self? You know, would you say there are any regrets? Do you say that there are things that they need to watch out for? What would you tell your younger self, maybe 20, 25 years younger or 30? What would you tell your younger self? What
Mm.
regrets, what advice can you give somebody that is looking at marriage and things like that, even before we now get into the advice of systemic lupus? So what will you tell yourself, your younger self? What regret, and what would you advise those people that are just going into it?
What I would say to my younger self, because one, there was nothing that was there was nothing I could point to say, okay, this yeah, I noticed that. Oh, I noticed that then. But what I would say to my younger self then was that probably not to have been quiet, not to have, to not to just take it in and be quiet about it. So one thing, and again, this is what I think most African, families, they say to their girls, then, yeah, your home, keep it, this is between both of you. You see, those are the things I was thinking then, between both of you, whatever you're going through in your mind. Yes, I understand all that. But when it comes to this, I was still applying that it's my home. I have to, a third person, this, you don't say things to your parents and all those stuff. So I kept everything, kept it was just, it's like just taking things until it was so overwhelming. So what I would say to the younger ones is that, when you're experiencing such, do not keep quiet. Do not keep quiet at all. Tell the right people. Tell the right people that seek help. Don't keep quiet about it at all. That would be my regret. That if I had said something earlier, maybe I wouldn't have had the systemic lupus, because the systemic lupus is kind of stopping me from doing some things that I would. There are days I won't be able to get up from bed. Because you just wake and all your joints are hurting, and my fingers will be swollen twice the size. Won't be able to. Sometimes I can't open a bottle. Um, can't can't open things. I have to call my children to open things for me. So yeah. So when I think of what that cost me, I I that's the painful part. You know, some things I want to be able to do. I want to do this. I want to do this. It kind of slows you down. You can't do it.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And just for anybody watching, I'm a firm believer of having mentors, and coaches for practically anything. And I strongly believe, that we prepare for a lot of things. We prepare for driving lessons. We prepare to go into university and study a course. And sometimes we don't prepare for marriage. And even when we get into marriage, some people, like you
Yeah.
said, we've been brought up about with that, that quotation that keep whatever goes into, whatever is happening between both of you, just keep it. But I'm a firm believer of having marriage mentors. I still have up to
Yeah.
date people that that they've been
Mhm.
tried, they've been tested, they can help you, they can give you counsel, they can give you sense advice, things that are the right thing. So if you're watching us, I feel, and you're going through one thing or the other, and you're still in that space that you don't want to tell somebody, there are a lot of godly counselors, godly marriage people, and they don't even have a title. By their fruits you can know them. There are some fruits
Mhm.
that you have
Yeah.
seen that you can say, okay, if these people can do this, and you're sure,
Yeah.
and you're close to them, you're seeing that, oh, they're doing this, they're treating the wife right, he's treating the husband well, you can get counsel, you can ask for advice. Don't do this just by yourself alone, especially when you are going through one
Mm.
thing, because you need to be alive. Like what you said, you couldn't lift your hand, you couldn't open things, you were incapacitated. For what? And there's so
Mm.
much that we have to offer. We cannot allow, all those kind of things happen to us. I also have a question here, it says, what is the impact of the domestic violence on your children? Yeah, just share a bit about that. The impact, yeah, on the children.
Yeah. Well, with the children, I I try as much as possible to just make sure that they are not not impacted about it. Because there are some things, yes, that they witness that I have to kind of sit them down and talk to them. Well, this is not the way things should be, and
Mm,
I I would say I thank God today that because I had to go through um I had to go through some things with them as in sit them down. We go through even reading the word and explaining things about this is the way things should be and all that. So the as an impacted the impact I would say probably when he left, would be when things were a bit how, but God gave me the grace and the strength to just be strong and be although it's not easy, be father and mother. And I thank God for I thank God for the mentors that God brought into their lives then. I thank God for that. I thank God for that. So yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. For me, I feel that the impact on the children can never be underestimated. Children go through some things,
Yeah.
when during an environment that is not stable. We might try to shield them, but as they grow, they see it. They are transparent. They live in the same house as we do. They see what's going. Even if they choose not to talk, there's so many impacts, and it's been scientifically proven for children with such homes. You find out that they are not doing well at school. They have low self-esteem. They are dealing with anger. They don't become better parents because that's all what they have seen. So it's a lot on the children. We know that, but it's our responsibility. Life, like I used to say, life do throw some things at us. Nobody plan and say, I'm going to a marriage that this is what I'm going to go through, and plan and say, okay, I want a marriage that will be abused. No. But life does happen. And when it does happen, it is the responsibility of us as parents to say, yes, I need to pick myself up. Children, yes, we've been affected by this. How do we seek help? How do we seek counseling? How do we seek, whatever needs, anger management, an avenue where they can speak, because children also need to speak. Children also need to understand,
Yeah.
and have an avenue where they can venture that this is what I've gone through in my life. So if you are going through this and you've not at any time maybe sat with your children to say, okay, let's talk about this, you need to. If you're seeing some things in your kids and you can't explain why they're having this behavior, you need to sit down, because they have gone through some things also. They have also gone through pain that they need to actually let go. But we thank God for our story, because like you said, she had mentors. They've turned out well, and like I said, she's also a grandmother. So she's gone past, and God has helped her. But if you're watching and you're still in that process, be a friend to your children. I know some of us watching, we are Africans. Be a friend. Have that communication line. It's not their fault that you married the wrong person. It's not that your fault that you're having a spouse that is abusing you. So make them your friend. Let them confide in you how they are feeling, what their mental health is, what their fears are. It is so, so important. Yeah, thank you for that. Then
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, what advice would you
Yeah.
give somebody, two questions there, that don't even know that they are going through systemic lupus, and for those that actually in that process going through that systemic lupus, what advice would you give them? What can they do? Because until I met you, I didn't even know there was anything like that. So what advice would you give them?
Yeah. So you mean those that are already diagnosed, or those that
Yeah.
don't even know they've got it?
Yes. Both of them, actually.
Oh, okay. So for those ones that are, for if you're feeling, the tiredness. I'm not saying every fatigue or tired, being very extremely tired can lead to that, but if you probably know that you're going through, or you've gone through a very stressful maybe, tiredness, very tired, or feeling depressed, things like that, it's good to speak to your doctor about it. And I it was when I started having joint pains that actually I went to, so and not any symptoms that you feel in your body. I think this me right.
I think we lost her there. Yeah. I think it's the network. Yeah. Thank you if you can hear me. Thank you for joining us. Uh yeah.
Health checkup and make sure that you're fine, or if possible.
I think it's the network. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. We just lost her there. I think it's the network that we just lost her there. I'm sure she'll be back. Thank you for joining us. This is Finding Purpose with Seyi, where we bring in people that have gone through one thing or the other, their life journeys, their stories, where they can share with us how, yes, she's back. Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah. Yeah, we lost it for a bit there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so was I off? I was just talking.
Anyway,
I was just talking. Yeah. So,
yeah. So where you got to was where you said that you went to the doctor when you
so
started having joint pains. Yeah. When you started having joint
yes. Yes. Yeah. When I started having the things, I went to the GP then, because I couldn't walk properly. With some distance that would take me probably 5 minutes, it might take me 15. Then it takes so long. So, and not and waking up and having to have to be opening my fingers one, because I couldn't just open my hands like this. It was like that always in the morning. So I have to kind of be doing this to open it up. So that's strange as well. If you're feeling, you know, things that you're feeling, you feel some things that are just not normal, the normal. So you should seek help, not to just don't keep quiet about it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So, what are, listening to you, what would you say, or how would you say you found purpose in this pain, that you have gone through? Both of them. How would you say you found purpose?
Okay. I thank God, I thank God um, for seeing me through that period of my life. I also, I would say that now stronger and more wiser. And also, how I would say I found purpose was, first of all, to just forgive. Forgiveness is a big part of this. I had to let go of the pain, the hurt, and just forgive. Forgiveness, some people would say, I can't do this. I can never, can never forgive that person. Because when you think about it sometimes, yeah, you would say, mm-mm. But for me to move on, for me to to be more alive and to be happy and to be healthy, to heal as well. And I just knew that I needed to forgive. And because I pray, I knew that for God to answer my prayer, I have to forgive. It wasn't easy, but it's possible. So I had to ask God to help me, the Holy Spirit to help me to to forgive and to take the pain, the pain away, the hurt. So now when I think about it, the pain is not there. The pain is my cemetery, that doesn't mean the pain is there. But I I it's just, yeah, forgiveness is the first part. And it takes a while, just stay in there. I was actually saying out the words that, I forgive this person. If I remember, sometimes some things will come to me and I name that thing and say, I forgive you for that. And name that, I forgive you for that. So it took a while. Then there was a day or day, maybe, I don't know how many years it took on me. I don't know, maybe it's months or years. I'm sure it's years. And again, even in between the relationship, because I've been forgiving, it wasn't very hard. Although it was hard, but it wasn't, because I'm always in that process. I have to be reminding myself when it says you have to forgive 70 times 7, and if you don't forgive, your Father in heaven will not. All those things. So I put that there all the time. That, what, you need to forgive for you to move on. So yeah, the first step is forgiveness. Because when you forgive, you're free. You can do things. When you hold on to the hurt, you won't be able to do anything. So when I was able to forgive, I was able to kind of move on, because then I was able to be free to speak out and talk to friends. I can share my story with my friends freely. What the way I feel, I can share it freely. And going out with friends sometimes, just to get used to socializing. Now I even found a group. I travel, but those are the things I love. I travel with a group of friends. We go probably twice a year. So doing things that I love, doing things, doing things that I love. I was set up a praying parents, praying for parents, children, for our children. So things that God has placed in me, that He, wants me to accomplish. I was able to now start seeing clearly to do that. And now I also have the support page for those that survived or are victims of domestic violence as well. So many things, so many things that I still want to do. I pray for the grace, but yeah, I if I look at then, I was like, it was like, someone in prison that couldn't do things. You just leave for the day, as in for the seconds. You're living for just that second to pass. As in, yes, I'm still alive. And couldn't sleep well. Now, the day I slept well, I was like, really? I so I was able to sleep. I thought, oh wow. So that's so important to me. Sleep. Imagine he said, so I can sleep. Because before you are eyes one eyes open, one eyes closed, like but now I could, sleep at peace and you know, achieving or doing the things that God wants me to do. Oh, the praise party, yeah, praise party as well. So we started the praise party 2 years ago now. So God is good. If for instance now, when I was so overwhelmed with all these things going on, it's I'm sure then probably things that God wanted to say to me there, I won't have been able to hear it because I was so overwhelmed with worry or pain or trying to survive, But now that I'm free of that. So also what I would say to people also is that, if you're going through that's why the forgiveness is important. When you forgive, God is able to speak to you that, my child, I want you to do this. And that was what happened with the praise party, that God just laid it on my heart to do that, even with the praying parents as well. So if I've got forgiveness, well, God won't tell me to go and do that. I don't think he would tell me to. That's well. That yeah, I don't think I won't even hear it because I'm filled with bitterness. So we need to let go of bitterness, or we can hear from him what he's saying, and then we'll be able to move into the purpose that he has for our lives. Yeah. Oh, thank you. They're reminding me.
Exactly,
They're
because
reminding-
and I'm purposely putting it like that because we tend often to just say, oh, I can't remember that, but you've done a lot. You've done a lot in finding purpose
they're reminding
in your
me. Okay.
exactly. They're reminding you of the praise party. They're reminding you of the books. They're reminding you of the praying parents. They're reminding you of the page for domestic violence. They're reminding you.
Yeah.
So, and I would want to salute you that you are indeed a strong woman. You're indeed a
Mhm.
strong woman because it's not easy. And I like what you said, and I'm just going to dwell on that a bit about that forgiving. A lot of people find it so hard to forgive, but I've been made to know a very long time that forgiveness is not all of is all about not all about the person that's offended you, but about you. I like what this person, I'll just say
Yeah.
this before I continue. She says, you are definitely living for purpose, your purpose, my darling friend. Praise party, praying parents, you've written many books, leading others prayer group, your counseling and massive qualification. Everything you do is helping God's people. Wow, I'm clapping for me. Yeah. What a good resume. What a good resume. Not even from you because you cannot even remember. It's other people reminding you about that. And that is so because forgive, and I want to dwell on that because we have yes, I like that Pina, she said forgiveness is liberating. It's so important. You forgiving that person, you forgiving that person that was meant to take care of you, you forgiving that person that was meant to care for you, that turn it. And it's not only man, it could be a woman because there are also men that are domestically abused also. But the fact to be able to forgive the spouse, the parent, you are liberating yourself. You are setting yourself loose, not the other
Yeah.
person. I've come across a lot of people that are still in this, oh, you've done that, and because of that, up to now, they won't allow the other spouse to see the children. They're already, there's a line, don't come here, don't do that, and it's all a roller coaster. Court today, lawyer tomorrow. Why? Because you cannot allow yourself to be let go, to be free. Liberate yourself today. Liberate yourself today. The life of those children is in the hands of God. The other person has done whatever he or she has done because they are less aware
Yeah.
of you. You are aware. You can set yourself. You might even be you have made the mistake, because we are human. It might be even possible that you saw those signs and you even decide to say, let me go into it. But when you got into it, it was more than you could take. So it can be a mistake on both parties. But let forgiveness be your watchword. Because, like Bisi said, without forgiveness, God cannot even speak to you. You cannot bring about the help, that God wants you to use you for. Without forgiveness, ideas cannot come. Without forgiveness, you cannot even think about the other person.
Yeah.
But when you forgive, it's liberating. When
Yeah.
you forgive, you can think clearly. When you forgive, there is health.
Mm.
When you forgive, you can do things. When you forgive, you are open to other people to even help you. So there's so much that comes to you when you let go of the pain. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it just with a flip of finger that you forget? No. It's a process. But remember what she said. She said every day she will say, she will remember the pain, cry, and say, I choose to forgive. So it's your choice. Choose to forgive. Yes, she's done that thing to you. Choose to forgive. If there's anything you are going to listen, you have heard in this program today, whatever it is, choose to forgive. Not for the sake of the other person, but for the sake of you. Because if you have not forgiven,
Yeah.
there's so many somatic diseases that can come: high blood pressure, sickness, systemic
Yeah.
lupus that we've just had today, weakness, weariness, ulcer, whatever. Why do you want to do that to yourself? You deserve more. You deserve more. Thank you, Busy, for sharing that with us. And I want you to quickly talk about the workshop that is coming on. So tell people about the workshop that is going on, before we're rounding up. She's organizing a workshop. I won't let the cat out of the, what do you call it? So tell us about it.
You can say it. You
So
can say
tell us
you can
about it.
say it.
Tell us about it. I want to
So
hear from
yeah,
you.
so okay, so we are planning. We are planning to organize a workshop. She's having a workshop on domestic violence and for awareness, and also for to help survivors as well. And this issue of forgiveness is very important. In the support group today, I put it there. Would you forgive your abuser? And at least the two message comments I saw before this started, those two comments were never. I can never forgive that person. So this is why this kind of workshop is very important to talk about things like that. So I tend to promote more of healing and recovery and things like that in the group than be sharing, all the bad stuff. Yeah. So just so that people can be free, be free of unforgiveness and move on with their lives. Yeah. So yeah, we're planning that by God's grace. It's going to be next month, because next month is October, which is the month that they count as domestic violence month, and it also happens to be lupus month as well. So I intend also to share more about the lupus so that people are more aware of it and know how to support um, friends with the domestic violence as well, for people to know how to support friends, not to think, okay, why didn't you just get out of there? It's not easy to, and also for if you have friends that are going through that, not to say to them, why don't you just get out? Let them make that decision themselves, but just be there to support, be there to listen to them. There, when they are ready, you're there. If they're not yet ready, be there for them. Unless it's a very terrible one that that if this person doesn't get out, you might die. So, you know, maybe then you can, because there are situations that you have to take action, and because that person can't help themselves. But most times it's good to just be supportive and be there and know how to help those going through this. And also, this is one of the things I said when I was going through this as well. The church didn't know how to help. All this were not there. I believe now the churches are speaking out about it, but then there was no support. There was no support at all. And I don't blame anybody. It's because people don't know what to do. So yeah.
Thank
So
you. Thank you.
the workshop is not just for
Yeah.
yeah, the workshop is not just for those that's gone through domestic violence, only it's for everyone, so that you become more aware of how to help others.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much for
Tammy.
that. Thank you so much for that. So if you're watching, you're watching today, somebody that's gone through domestic violence, or even you want to learn how to support. Because for me, maybe the only support I would be like, just run away. because, because my personality, I don't want trouble. So I think my first advice would be run away. But that might not be the right advice because I've never been through that situation before. I might not know what to say, and you know I'll just want to be there to know what am I supposed to do. Am I just supposed to just tell you to run away? Am I supposed to call? What am I supposed to do? So if you're in that situation that you want to learn what to do, or you have people that are currently going through, because a lot of times within our community we don't talk, or somebody, once the flyer or everything is out, please can you share? Please, let's carry, let's get this information out there. In October, she said October is the month for domestic violence and also systemic lupus. Is a great strive. And while you were speaking, Bisa, I can see your heart for what you are doing, and I like that, and it's all about living purpose, living for your purpose. So if you're out there, somebody that's gone through it before, or they're still in that journey of healing, or you also want to know about what domestic violence is, what systemic lupus is, how to, an avenue where you can freely discuss how you're feeling. It's okay for you not to be fine. It's okay for you to still feel hurt. It's okay for you to say, I don't want to forgive. And people will walk you through that journey that have done it before. So if you know anybody, I want all of us to support BC on this purposeful journey once all the information is out, so that then we can share it, we can send it to other people, our churches, our friends, so that they can be helped. So again, thank you for joining us, everybody. My name is Seyi. If you don't know me, I'm a transformation coach. I'm an advanced grace recovery. I help people find purpose in their pain. And like I say every time, life does throw a lot of things that we do not expect. But you become a stronger person if you can use whatever life has thrown to you. Is it divorce? Is it death? Is it career loss? Is it financial loss? When you can use all that as your springboard to move to the next level, when you can use your story as a tool to the whole world, when you can use what you have gone through in life to change another life, to live purpose, that is what finding purpose with Seyi is all about. Where we strengthen people, where we hold the hands of people, where we build a community of transformational people, where they are currently using their pain, to build a community. Because Sheyi cannot do it alone. BC cannot do it alone. Everybody must be able to do it together. And it's so important because everybody have their space that they can work. She has the space of domestic violence. I don't. So let's support her. I have the space of transformational, helping people transformationally. Help that space. Some people might be parenting, some people can be different things. So whatever it is, make sure you use your story to build your community, to build people, that can help. And also, I just want to also use this medium to just advise, to talk about the show that is coming on Saturday. So we are organized. I do have a charity to widows, widowers, and single parents. But on Saturday, we are supporting parents that currently have special needs children. I don't call them special needs children. I call them special children that need God. They are special children that need God. School is coming. They need God. God can transform anything. There's no story that cannot be changed. They are wonderful people. They are gifted children. So if you know any parent, that currently have a special child that needs God, we are organizing an event for them on Saturday for the parents, for teachers, for Sunday school teachers, because school is going on, where we are going to be talking about life issues. And this one, we are focusing on autism and ADHD. So if you know any parent, any teacher, so you're supporting children of such, please the registration link is on the banner across the screen, or contact me. My email is sheyi.findingpurpose@gmail.com, so that you can get more information. We've got a gentleman, it's called Celebrate Calm in the US, is coming. We've got professionals that are going to be talking. We've got parents that are going to be sharing their experience. So you don't want to miss it. Or if you know anyone that wants to do it, so please join us on Saturday, um, when we are doing this. And also, finally, for those people that joined the Grief to Greatness workshop that we just finished, thank you so much. Thank you. The review has been fantastic. And for those people also that have registered for the full intensive course, to be able to actually practically move from their place of grief to their place of greatness, thank you for registering. And if you still want to register, the link is on my page. It's a 4 weeks intensive where we do practical things. We do practical stuff and help people move from their place of grief to their place of purpose. So with me again today, she's going to say her final word. BC, how can people reach you? And what's your final word? If
Yeah.
anybody wants to reach out to you, how can they reach out to you? Can you tell us that before we go? So how can people reach you?
Okay. Okay. So I'm on Facebook. So my Facebook awareness page is domestic violence support for women. It's written there, don't suffer in silence. That's how you know it's mine. Don't suffer in silence. And there's the support group as and there is the support one as well. That's domestic violence support for women. Don't suffer in silence. So the first one, there is awareness in it, and the second one is the support group. And I'm on also on Instagram. I've got what's it called? It's a survivor to thriver. I just recently thought, you know what, I'm a thriver, so I just recently created that one, the survival to thriver, and I think it's on is sorry, I did write it down somewhere. What's the handle now? Oh, I can't remember it. I would so if you want to get in touch with me, you can also message me as well. You can also message this Bible. You can go onto the Facebook pages, but my handle is survival to tribe. But there is I think it's a dot or underscore, but I can't remember where I wrote it. I wrote it down, so it's not. I don't think I've got it yet. Sorry about that.
That's
Yeah.
fine. You
So
can send it
yeah,
to us.
that's
Share it.
you can message me from there. Pardon?
No, I said you can send it to us
Okay.
so that
So
we
is
can share it.
okay. Yeah. I can. Can I put chart
Yeah.
so that you can see it?
Yes, yes.
Can I put in the chart? I can't.
Yes, you can. You
Can
can.
I?
Yes, you can. Yeah. Or you can send it to me anyway. We can put that for you. Yeah, because we like people fulfilling purpose, so we can do that. Yeah, can you hear me? I think she's frozen again. Yeah. So thank you everybody. Thank you, Pina. Thank you. Thank you. She says, well done, Seyi Oshewa, for your platform. And well, thank you so much. Thank you everybody that you have constantly supported us. Thank you. This is a show that we bring every other Wednesday where we help people find their purpose in their pain, whatever it is. So thank you everybody for joining us. She's still frozen. Thank you so much. I don't know whether you can hear me. I wanted to say the final goodbye. Can she hear me? She's frozen. Yeah. So thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you. Until we meet, please support BC, support our cause, support the workshop, support all that she's doing, support people in as much as it lies within your power. Show as much help as you can. My mantra, and we do that on this show, the whole world is waiting for your manifestation. No matter what position you are, you don't need to be a pastor, you don't need to be a president, you don't need to be anything. Just be yourself and just be the help, be the answer to someone's prayer at every point in time, even just with doing little
Oh,
things by hugging, by saying, I care for you, I'm praying with you, I'm holding your hand. So do everything within your that lies within you to be a blessing to your, not only to your friends, to those people outside your circle. Reach out to people. You don't know what people are going through. They might have all the makeup and all the wig all around looking all together, but that's not what they're going through. So pray that you're aware, you know what people are going, and render help to them. Thank you so much. Thank you, Datola. She says, thank you so much for bringing awareness to us. Thank you so much, BC, for coming on my show again. Thank you so much. And we are really all looking forward to the workshop in October. I'm
Mhm.
excited when dreams and things like that happen on purpose. So I'm really, really excited. I'm sure everybody on this platform that will watch now and replay would all say that you are indeed a strong woman. Thank you for being a woman of God. Thank you for the children. Thank you for who you are and everything that every other person has testified today that you are doing and you're still doing. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Till we meet again the week after that.
Thank you,
Thank
Seyi.
you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much.
Thank you so
And
much.
thank you
Bye,
everyone for
everyone.
joining.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.